2026 regular agenda. Christine, don't make me laugh. Mayor, can you please lead us in the flag
I
salute?
needed that last one.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Here.
Evans. Here. Laratondo.
Here.
Light.
Here.
Parker. Here. Sykes.
Here.
DeRose.
Here. This is to advise that certain advance notice has been given to the date, time, location, and to the extent known the agenda of this meeting in accordance with the provision of the Open Public Meeting Act. And notice of this meeting has been posted prominently at the bulletin board in the municipal complex lobby, on the city's website, and communicated through the newspaper designated by the governing body. This is to further advise that this meeting is being recorded electronically and can be viewed on the city's website at absequentnj.gov. Before we start the meeting, I'd like to take a second and have a moment of silence for John Doritas Sr., who recently passed away, longtime Absecon resident, former councilman who sat in these chairs, and a former council president. So if we could just take a moment of silence, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. And in honor of him, we'll start the meeting. 2026 ordinances for introduction. Ordinance for introduction, 03-2026, capital ordinance providing for various general capital improvements and acquisition of various equipment by and in the city of Absecon, appropriating $120,000 therefore from the general capital fund surplus to pay the cost therefore. May I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second. Anybody like to discuss? Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Laratondo.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
DeRose.
Yes. This ordinance will be posted, laid over, and published according to law. A public hearing, second and final reading will be held on February 19th, 2026. Ordinance 04, amending the code of the city of Absecon, adding chapter 168, building, moving of. May I hear a motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion, please. Mayor, would you like to give a brief update for any council members?
Correct me if I'm wrong, John, but, so, in reading it, it seems as though, to be able to actually move a house or raise a house within the city limits, it is, there's a certain ordinance that's adopted by other townships that is very similar to this, of the rules and regulations as to what they would like to see in terms of escrows, fees, fines, things of that nature, for the ability to be able to move or raise a home.
Yeah, and it's really, it oftentimes just comes down to a safety measure, right? What you're doing a lot of times with the escrow fees and stuff you're posting, there's times when your police forces need it, you gotta close roads sometimes when you have oversized buildings coming through. EMS on site when they're setting the house in case anything occurs like that, somebody gets hurt. The other thing that a lot of these ordinances do, it ensures, I mean, most of the time you're moving a building from outside to inside, right? So you have a building coming from a third-party municipality. You don't know what inspections it's had, you don't know what it looks like, you don't know what the condition is. This will require a lot of approvals essentially to be in place and inspections to occur before it can come in here, so that you can ensure what's coming in is up to code.
So pretty much what you're saying is, at the end of the day, this is something we've never had before, so we're putting it in and doing our due diligence and protecting ourselves.
Correct. This is protecting us, the actual homeowner, and the neighborhood.
And it has like hard line rules as to like how much of the street can be impeded at any given moment, that you gotta be passable, how long it can actually sit on the edge or in the street before it has to be moved.
Yep. Right.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Good,
Thanks for
Councilman?
clarity. Yep, thank you.
Good. Good on
Sorry
that?
for that.
Yes. Yeah.
No. It's a good
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Laratondo.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
DeRose.
Yes. This ordinance will be posted, laid over, and published according to law. A public hearing, second and final reading will be held on February 19th, 2026. Ordinance for adoption. Amending the code of the city of Absecon, chapter 251, rental housing, adding article 7, lead-based paint inspections. Do I hear a motion for the second reading of this ordinance?
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Laratondo.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
Saros.
Yes. Ordinance 2-2026, amending the code of the city of Absecon, chapter 251, rental housing, adding Article 7, lead-based paint inspections. May I hear a motion to open the meeting to the public to comment or discuss this ordinance only?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Would anybody from the public like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only? May I hear a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? May I hear a motion for the final reading and adoption of ordinance 2-2026?
Motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Larratunda.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
Saros.
Yes. Ordinance 2-2026, amending the code of the city of Absecon, chapter 251, rental housing, adding Article 7, lead-based paint inspections. This ordinance has been heard and is finally approved. Consent agenda. All matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be discussed separately. 43, permitting a charitable organization to solicit funds, namely the Absecon Galloway Rotary Club. 44, authorizing to cancel the property taxes for the first and second quarters of 2026 on the property located at 9 Andrea Lane. 45, authorizing the release of maintenance guarantee posted by Dollar General located at 705 South New Road. 46, authorizing the release of escrow funds posted by Gary Gandolfi for property known as 138C Crestview Avenue. 47, authorizing for emergency sewer pump repair and replacement for the pump stations throughout the city of Absecon. 48, authorizing for the maintenance and repair to the city of Absecon vehicles and fire trucks. 49, authorizing the acceptance of, and when authorized, the release of various street opening permit security deposits. 50, authorizing the submission of a grant application and the execution of a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs under the fiscal year 2026 Local Recreation Improvements Grant Program for the Pitney Park Multi-Use Enclosed Sports Facility. 51, authorizing to enter into a contract with Remington and Vernick Engineers for planning and designing services for the Absecon Estates drainage improvements. 52, authorizing change order 1, an increase for the year 2024 NJDOT Safe Streets to Transit Program, Crestview Avenue Pedestrian Safety Improvements Phase 2. Do I hear a motion to open the meeting to the public for these agenda items only?
Motion? Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Would anybody from the public like to come and speak on these agenda items only? May I hear a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Motion? Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda. May I hear a motion to move this consent agenda?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Larratunda.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
Saros.
Yes. Approval of the bill list, $668,928.46. May I hear a motion to accept the bill list?
Motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Larratunda.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
Saros.
Yes. Approval of minutes, regular meeting minutes from January 22nd, 2026. May I hear a motion to accept these minutes?
Motion? Second?
Roll call, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Evans. Yes. Larratunda.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Sykes.
Yes.
Saros.
Yes. All right, at this time, we're going to move to council committee reports. I will start with Councilman La Rotunda.
Sure, we have not met this month for code enforcement. Our first meeting will be Tuesday, February 17th at 4 p.m. Hope the residents can join us with any concerns regarding code enforcement.
Thank you, sir. Councilman?
Thank you, President. Same, we've not met this month either. We're going to meet on Tuesday, the 17th at 7 p.m. It'll be Parks and Rec. A few things to discuss with the upcoming spring, and we're going to try to get a head start on some of those things.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
Public Safety met this past Monday at 6 p.m. The major theme of the meeting was just this storm we had a couple weeks ago and the dangers of the ice and pipes bursting. The fire department has been very busy. The ambulance squad thanked the fire department for allowing them to stay there during the storm, and the fire department also had a standby crew during the storm, and they've just been dealing with a lot of broken pipes and such since then. Chief from the police department asked everybody to remember to clean off your cars. It is actually a law to do so, and it is very dangerous to drive around with ice and snow on your car. Danger to yourself, other cars, and pedestrians. I think that's it for the meeting. We meet again on the 2nd of March at 6 p.m. Captain, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, I think you covered it. Thank you.
Good?
Yep.
Councilwoman Evans?
So tonight was our first meeting for Community Affairs. We did discuss upcoming events. The Easter egg hunt, last year we moved it to a Tuesday night. It was very successful. We're going to continue with that this year. So it'll be the Tuesday before Easter. Easter falls on the April 5th, so it'll be August 31st we're looking at 4 o'clock.
March 31st.
March 31st.
Oh, March 31st, sorry. March 31st. We also talked about our senior brunch. Last year, it was held on the first Saturday in May. I'd like to continue with the consistency with everything, so we're going to roll with that also, but I will double check to make sure that there is no other events that would interfere with that. Memorial Day Parade, obviously, is Memorial Day weekend. We briefly touched on that. And we'd like to look for any suggestions for the 250-year celebration if anybody wants to reach out to me or anybody on the committee. That's it.
Thank you.
Did we decide that we're meeting at 5 though from now on?
Yes, we did
Okay.
change it because the council meeting now is at 6 o'clock and we usually are the hour before, so tonight it was a brief one, 5:30. So next week we're going to move it to, next month we'll move it till 5 o'clock, so we do have that hour to discuss things.
I know. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman?
Okay, thank you, Council President. Finance, we meet on February 19th. We have our first finance budget meeting starting next week, February 12th at 6 p.m. Myself, our admin, as well as our CFO, we spent most of the day, and Council President DeRose, most of the day today meeting with all the departments and going over their budget requests for 2026, wrapping up where they stood for 2025, which update I gave at the last meeting, and we are looking forward to start putting stuff together for our budget for 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Light?
Thank you, Mr. President. We met this week on the second Monday here at 5 o'clock. We do meet on the 2nd of March. The items that we spoke about this week, we spoke about the pedestrian grant, some of the options that we have, things that we're implementing, our streets and roads projects coming up for 2026. We're trying to work collectively with trying to come up with a better plan with working with Atlantic Electric and getting a better point of contact so that our street lights and our maintenance on the roads for Atlantic Electric are better served. That's all I have, and also I'd just like to say thank you, as always, to Public Works and the Police Department for working so diligently and hard in the circumstances of the snow and the ice, and it was very difficult. I appreciate, and also I don't want to forget the fire and EMT, so there were difficult times to work in this kind of weather and ice, so extend my appreciation as well as residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Light. I just wanted to echo Councilwoman Parker on the public safety effort during the most recent storm, and also Public Works for clearing our streets. Hate to brag, but I would say that Absecons were pretty solid compared to the county roads. Mostly the only complaints I got in town were county roads and not Absecon roads, so definitely proud of that. So kudos to Public Works and Public Safety throughout the storm. That's really all I have. Mayor?
I just, again, want to thank our police department, our public works for a great job during that storm. I want to also thank our residents. This storm was probably a once-in-a-decade storm. The way it snowed, turned to sleet, turned to rain, and everything froze almost instantly. I appreciate our residents' patience in getting roads clear, and I'm very impressed with our residents for how hard they were out there shoveling and working to get all the frozen snow off the ground.
Thank you, Mayor. Engineer report.
Thank you, Rich.
Do you want to introduce yourself, since you've been here more often than, because you're not Ed Dennis?
As my name tag here says, I'm Nick DeCosmo with Remington and Vernick Engineers. And I'll just go over some quick updates on some of the engineering projects with the city. So for the Shore Road project, a couple quick updates on that. The updated interlocal agreement that was authorized by the city in December has been sent over to the county for full adoption. And we sent our updated plans addressing all of the recent round of county comments on January 19th back to the county. So right now we're just waiting on final county approval, and then bidding of that project should follow shortly after.
Just another quick update. I don't mean to cut you off, Nick. I was on the phone with the county today, and I do have pictures, and the urgency of this entire operation. It's bad enough with the flooding, but if anybody saw it, or the police department had to close Shore Road because there was 2 ice skating rinks in the middle of the road. The salt water from the creek actually came up on the road and froze. So this is not getting better. It's only getting worse and worse. So I did discuss with the county, and I'm going to have to connect with you after.
Great. And then a couple of the updates, our 25 road program and repaving of Delaware Avenue are still on hold, waiting for the weather to warm up, but we'll resume construction on those in the spring. We're continuing with design on our pedestrian crosswalk safety improvements. That's the Raised Crosswalks project. And we hope to bid and begin construction on that this coming spring as well. The pedestrian crosswalk flashing beacons on New Jersey Avenue are now installed and operational. So that project is finally complete.
I haven't passed it yet.
Great.
I haven't been there yet.
Great. And then as was read out earlier, the resolution for the local recreation improvement grant was on, and we'll be applying for that grant. We'll be submitting everything next week, and Mayor will have a couple things for me to sign early next week as well, and then we'll get that submitted. And then other than that, we're just focusing on the 2026 budget and planning out our engineering projects for this upcoming year. We have a couple DOT grants, and as well as some NJDEP iBank grants that the city is going to take advantage of.
Thank you, Nick. Jessica?
I just wanted to put out a reminder that taxes are due on February 1st, but we have a 10-day grace period, and even with the weather, still have only a 10-day grace period. And I wanted to thank Public Works and reiterate what everyone else has already said for the hard work that was done during the snowstorm. I appreciate them, and I appreciate that all the complaints that came into City Hall, they went out and personally addressed. So I thank them so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. May I hear a motion to open this meeting to the public?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Does anybody from the public like to come up and speak? I just ask that you state your name and your address, please. I still need your name.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandy Hickerson. I live at 210 Upland Avenue. I believe all of you know me. So several months ago, I had reached out to, I believe, all of you, most of you, if not all of you, in regards to a resolution for concealed carry permit holders reimbursing the $150 fee. I've tried doing my due diligence with you and sending you some information, some links to some articles, different things like that. Council President Rich DeRose suggested that I go to the Public Works meeting, which I did the other night, and thank you so much for that. Thank you for your time, and I thank the police department for what they do, their due diligence, with doing the background checks, making sure that, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. We definitely appreciate all that. But the fees are just absolutely ridiculous. And I came away a little disappointed from that meeting, to be honest, because I felt like it was basically said, oh, well, the city is in a little bit of financial crunch right now, which I get, but that shouldn't be a burden left on the law-abiding citizens. Like, there was a comment made, well, maybe a couple of years from now, when we're a little better, we can revisit. this resolution, and then move forward then. But that's not fair for us. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry, I forgot my glasses. So I can't see stuff. But I wanted to encourage you to at least put this on the agenda to bring it up for discussion. Because, you know, there's the, sorry, forgetting my words here.
All right, Sandy, take your time.
When you do the background checks, you know, for the state of New Jersey, right, we have to have an FID card in order to be, to own a firearm in the state of New Jersey, right? You have to have your FID to purchase. Then once you have your FID, if you want to purchase a pistol, now you need another permit. To carry, you need another permit. It's like money, 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 when our Constitution says that it's my right. The Constitution is my FID. The FID itself is unconstitutional, but here we are in the state of New Jersey.
Amen.
So, right, so fast forward now that we can carry in the state, it's a $200 fee, $50 goes to the state, and then the other $150 goes to the municipality. But why is it that when you do a background check for a pistol permit, the fee used to be $2, it went up to $25, but now for the concealed carry permit, it's $150. And it's the same background check, I believe, to my knowledge.
The captain would know.
So
And I know we can't necessarily.
It is. What I will say, Sandy, just, I apologize to cut you off. One, I had a great conversation with the mayors you put me in contact with. Two, how Absecon government operates is in order to put something on the agenda, because if I did it myself, council, I'm not a king, I work with everybody, so it has to come out of what's a committee. When I suggested to you to go to public safety, I had no idea you were literally going that day. So I personally didn't have an opportunity to speak to anybody. What I would suggest, though, is speaking with the finance committee. If the reason is money, I would suggest we sit down with the finance committee, discuss it with the finance committee, and then we go from there. How about that?
I think that was one of my suggestions in our meeting the other day, because I am on finance too, so I kind of put on my finance hat for a minute. And one of the things that I brought up, other than the service that the police department provides, does have a price tag to it, was that last year we were reopening a lot of the fees in town, so to raise some fees and get rid of one was like kind of imbalancing. Something that we were trying to use to even things out here, like, and get up to speed. It was hard, not that I don't want to do this for you, but it was for, talking about the residents, to raise some fees and get rid of one didn't seem like it was correct to me. But I said it was something that should be brought up to the finance to see if it was doable.
Yeah, see, I support it, so that's why, we should talk to the finance committee and discuss it. I personally support it, so we can go. Unfortunately, I can't vote on it because, as you're well aware, I think reducing the fee, I'd be the only person on council that would benefit from it, so I wouldn't be able to vote on it. But understanding the background and being intimate with the process and everything like that, I think it makes sense, though, for you to meet with Alex, with finance, and Christine and Nick, right?
What's that?
Finance?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So I think going to the next finance meeting and having that conversation, it's prime time because we're in budget season anyway, quite honestly. Have the discussion in committee, work through the committee. I'm happy to attend as a character witness and letting it go through the committee process. So I apologize that when I offered that to you, I know you're a go-getter. I didn't realize you were going to literally do it that day without me being able to talk to Alex, Christine, or Nick, who are on that committee. So yeah, let's go that route, if that works for you.
Absolutely, I'll attend the next meeting.
February 19th.
And thank you. And I appreciate your time and consideration, and I do, appreciate everything that the police department does and all of that. So looking forward to having more discussions.
Sounds
So,
good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it. That's positive.
I just want to add something, I appreciate you coming out and your passion, for the community and for all of us, honestly, and something that I was at that meeting, something that most people don't know, the public doesn't know, is how many hours that the police department spends, and how many man-hours that the average person doesn't even realize. I'm not trying to substantiate or minimize the amount of money that's paid to cover the fees, but the amount of hours is like immense. So aside from revenue, it's just there's a lot of hours that go into that, and I don't think the background checks and everything, I don't know the average person realizes that. So it's just, the public should know that.
Yes, I believe,
Aside from dollars amount, these guys put a lot of time and effort into it.
yes, I believe an average, from what I'm seeing and hearing and learning, it's roughly 20 minutes to a half hour to do a background check on one individual.
So they used,
Again, that fee is $150 for roughly for that a half hour worth of work. And I'm not saying that our police officers are worth it, so don't take me wrong.
Yeah, no.
That way, but,
I don't think they think that, Sandy, trust me.
Ask a question on this, Sandy? Do other towns that you're proposing, they did away with it completely? They cut it in half? Or they went to 50? What did they do?
So you can't change the fee because it's state mandated. What towns across New Jersey are starting to do, recognizing that it comes down to a fundamental argument, but recognizing that it's an excessive fee, because no matter how you cut it, it is a very excessive fee. It's an excessive fee, therefore, you have to, by law, take in the 150, send X to the state. It's X, the municipality gets the rest. What municipalities are proposing is that fee then gets given back to the resident. That said, what I will tell you, which was very interesting because I've spoken to other mayors and councils that have passed it, it is actually, it's not an automatic either. It's not an automatic give back. There's a lot more nuances to it that we can discuss in committee when it comes up instead of doing it during.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know I figured I would just ask the question, that's all. Thank you.
yes.
Sandy.
And just so you know, there's 16 towns currently that have passed this resolution giving back the fee to the applicant.
Thank you.
So, thank
I
you guys.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Any questions, you guys know, you all have my number, my email.
I'll take it.
Please reach out. I like to talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sandy.
I almost had to hit you with the time limit over there. No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. Hello, sir.
Hi, good evening. My name's Tony Rockhill. I'm not from here. I'm from Beechwood, a little town in northern Ocean County. I came here to support Sandy and trying to get you guys to work with us on this resolution. I've had it passed in my town, and I know you want to go through the committee now, but there were a couple of points some of you brought up that I would like to address.
Sure.
First one is, when you say there's a cost to doing this, police department is kind of a net loss. There is no profit. Everything the police department does comes at a cost to the entire town. And what else is a police department charged for besides running background checks, for purchase permits and carry permits? Nothing. That's it. That's the one thing they charge for. And it's just not right. So I'd like to think, those of you on the finance committee to think about that, when it's brought up. You were asking about the towns that have passed it and how much they've given back. I actually have a list I can leave with you.
That'd be excellent, actually.
That details.
You can leave it right on that table right there, sir.
Thank you.
Tommy, can you grab it for me, please?
I think it was in that email that Sandy sent too.
Oh, it wasn't it, Sandy?
Yeah.
So, of those 16 towns, the last one came last night. I was upset. I was there as well. When we walked in the door, They planned on passing this, only doing a partial refund. So the town gets the $150, they were going to refund $120 and keep the $30. By the end of the night, after speaking with them, they decided the correct thing to do was to issue a full refund, and that's what they went ahead and voted on.
So what I will tell you, sir, quite honestly, and Sandy, I'm an open book, you and I have discussed that I won't not make the police department whole, so there's a lot of conversations to be had. But I see where you're coming from,
When
yeah.
you said not making the police department whole, it's the one thing. I mean, they don't have to go and take a police report for a burglary and then go and investigate that and then tell people, well, we need $150 in order to do that investigation.
But to get the police report, you'd pay, correct, Captain?
Yes.
There's a fee, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, and that fee is for what? Just a little bit of paperwork?
Correct.
It's not $150.
I have no idea, but there is a fee.
So if we were talking about, and the fee is what, a couple bucks?
Yeah,
$2,
it's probably
$5?
paid, yeah.
Yeah.
So if we were talking about that, that's a different story. Not $150.
Yeah. No, you're preaching to the choir on that one, trust me.
For the finance meeting, can we just get a list of like how many we usually get on an average year?
I have all that. Sandy gave it to us.
Concealed carry, but if it's a nominal amount of money, I 100% agree we should waive it in support of that, so I just think it's something we should look at if we can get that number.
It's not.
For the finance
Can I
meeting.
ask one more question on it while you're up here?
Yeah, Nick,
Because you seem like you're
I asked
passionate about
Sandy-
this.
Sandy got it.
So, the reason you're asking for the refund is because you think that it's deterring people from getting it, or you don't think people should pay for it? What's the reason?
It's both.
Constitutional.
It's
Constitutional? Like, I'm asking what your reasoning is. Okay.
Okay. Before the Bruin decision, when there was a May issue for carry permits, the state didn't need to issue these high fees in order to keep people from getting carry permits. They could just turn around and say, no, you can't have them. Now they have to issue them. So it's gone from about $57 for somebody to obtain a firearm and a carry permit to over $500 with the multiple steps that you're aware of. An FID is one background check, a purchase permit is another. A NICS check at the time of purchase at the FFL is another. Fingerprint fees that are mandatory. You're not going to the police department and getting them done for free. You have to go and pay for that.
So to answer that question, Alex, really quick, so the argument was, and again, I keep breaking my own rule by going over this, so a lot of towns, when I spoke to mayors and stuff like that, the argument is, it's a constitutional right, the New Jersey Supreme Court, and the United States Supreme Court struck down New Jersey's restrictive carry permit rules, because New Jersey was one of the strictest in the country. It was, certain parts of it was deemed unconstitutional. New Jersey, in a retaliatory action, decided, okay, we're being forced to do this legally, we're going to just slap these crazy fees on it. There's no justifiability to the fees, so advocates of the Second Amendment, the Constitution, things like that, because it's not even actually a red and blue issue. That's the argument at play about returning these fees.
Yeah, because when I looked at it, some are refunding partial, it looks like. Some are doing 100, some are doing 125, some are doing 100.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just trying to figure out like what they were actually looking for. But I'll see what you, Sandy, and stuff, would you like to come to the next finance meeting? I have no problem. Committee.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming and supporting Sandy. She's a great resident of our city.
She is.
Would anybody else from the public like to speak?
Gotcha.
Good evening, sir. Just name and address, please.
Abe Florence, Jackson Township, New Jersey. I manage the hotel Days Inn on Absecon Boulevard, and we're running for a couple of years, and the city passed an ordinance recently, only 14 days per resident. After that, we have to go out and take people and move on. There's a lot of people that stay in our hotel that for some reason or another, they don't own an apartment either. They either qualify for credit, or they don't want to pay utilities, they just want to take care of I understand the reason for the ordinance, you don't want any people just passing through and not staying here currently, but these people have jobs, whether they're working local, and they just want a place to stay. So I would like to ask for a exclusionary process for the hotel, that if someone has a job and is paying taxes and they're out, they just want to live there and they don't have any kids getting to the school system, that will be allowed to get a waiver on people that actually pay taxes and not just hanging out at vagrants and just need a place to stay.
How would they pay taxes?
You wouldn't. They wouldn't be paying taxes because they're paying you are as the hotel operator. The
No,
hotel is
they're
paying.
paying, I'm saying they're taxpayers, they're not people without jobs. They have jobs, whether they're working locally or wherever, they just don't have money to buy a house, rent, they just want a place local, and they've asked us, instead, well, they're not leaving the town, they're going from the Days Inn to the other hotels back and forth and playing the game. It's not like they're leaving town, they're just being uprooted and moving from the Days Inn to, let's say, Howard Johnson's, okay, so Howard Johnson, we're going to the Holiday Inn and other independent hotels. So as far as the county goes, these people are not really leaving Absecon Township, they're staying in the township. I'm proposing if someone, not to abolish the whole rule, because I understand where it's coming from, but I'm proposing that if someone is a, so to say, a stable person, you see he's a local person, and we have a couple of people that want to stay by us, they're doing contracting in Atlantic City, and they're there for 2 months at a time, and they need workforce housing, and they say, we would like to stay by you because we're doing a plumbing job or a construction job in Atlantic City, but then they say, we tell them it's after 14 days, you got to evict themselves. It's very uncomfortable for them to keep moving from one hotel to the next hotel. They're here for workforce housing, they're here for 3 months at a time. So a waiver should be granted, I'm requesting, politely from the township, that if someone is here for workforce housing or they have a regular job, and I understand the ordinance, when I spoke to, I forgot his name, he told me, well, they're protecting the hotel owners because after 28 days, you become a resident of the city, you can't evict them. I understand that, and that's responsibility on the hotel owner that you can't evict somebody after 28 days being in a hotel. But on the request of a lot of residents in the hotel, and they just didn't want to put their name down for whatever reason, they asked me to represent them to say, hey, listen, can we get a waiver to stay at your hotel? We like it. It's a big room. It's safe. It's clean. We've got parking. We just want to stay. We don't want to keep moving from this hotel and 2 weeks later to a different hotel and then back and forth. The issue of moving people out of hotels is not getting resolved by 14 days when there's so many different hotels on Absecon Boulevard that they can go from one hotel to the next hotel. So that's what I'm requesting.
Mr. President, if I...
Go ahead.
So, as you may or may not be aware, and this is not, I don't know the Days Inn's business, we have been, here in the city of Absecon, have been getting other counties, parole boards, putting their people experiencing homelessness, violent parolees, sex offenders in all of our hotels. The issue with the ordinance, and I believe you should consider, and we can ask our lawyer about the exclusionary thing for work and work alone. You have some sort of proof that you're here working in the city for 3 months. That's all well and good. The issue becomes enforceability in terms of our police department. The ordinance seems strict. But for background knowledge, it was about 3 years ago, we passed a 28-day length of stay ordinance, and believe me, it was not the Days Inn, but there were other bad...
Well, aware of my competition, what they do, and I'm running a very...
Correct. And unfortunately, it was the bad seeds that have...
Undesirables, I call them.
Flagrantly violated our 28-day ordinance. So we had to take action because we have social services placing children in hotels that they don't realize that 2 rooms away is probably a tier 3 sex offender because we know they're getting placed there. We know families are being placed in the motels and they're being placed there long term, and it's not safe for the families and for the people who actually need help to be living in motels. That's the reasoning behind the let's, I won't say strict or severiness of the ordinance. No one up here made the decision lightly to make the change again. We went back and forth for quite some time. We looked at a lot of the numbers from the police department, and that's why we're here.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
That being said, I am happy to work with...
Yeah, can I ask you a quick question while we're doing this? Sure. How many people do you think in the hotel are here because they're like electrician, plumbers, working in these casinos? I mean, you have I'm guessing the Holiday Inn, I mean, it's Days Inn. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, how many rooms?
It's a hard question to answer, because a lot of people have a lot of domestic issues, so they just need a place to, they're having issues at home, with their spouse or kids, they just want a place to buzz off, cut it down for 2 weeks. But there's a lot, I would say there's about, at any given time, there's between 20 to 40 people that, for whatever reason, we have someone there that's scared to stay in an apartment. They're scared of tenants. They're scared of a landlord. They have mental issues, so they want to stay in the hotel. They're willing. They have a job. They just, for whatever reason, they had some bad experience growing up of being evicted, so they're scared to go in an apartment. But they hold down a regular job. There's workforce housing, I was saying, and there's many people, for whatever reason, that their credit is so bad when they apply for a rental house, they're always getting turned down. And then there's some people that, middle-aged, they want to live alone, they don't want a cable bill, they don't want a water bill, they don't want any bills, they want a Wi-Fi bill, they just want one bill, give them per night, and they know they pay it. But they're holding regular jobs, and they're requesting, they just can't you stay us a couple weeks more, can't you stay? I'm like, no,
It doesn't sound like those people are going to want to leave after a couple weeks more.
And that's the issue.
And then you're not a transient occupant anymore, you're a resident.
Correct. So
and
we
that
have to deal
creates
with
an
that at
issue.
home because of 28 days. I'm looking for just to get 28 days, up in a couple weeks, because there's a lot of people like that, and then we can tell them move out for a week or two, and figure out your own life, come back and come revisit us. And just 14 days, especially for contractors and people that have jobs, they want a stable place to stay. And it doesn't do us any good by having undesirables on hotel, because like I said, it doesn't, we want to run a good ship. I just don't understand as a business owner, because I work in hospitality, there are many other hotels, so when Absecon has an ordinance of 14 days, they're playing the system like everyone else is. I'm not trying to,
We're not oblivious to that one.
we understand. The same customers.
I think part of it is you won't have a tenant that is occupying the room and basically making it an apartment. I mean, I'm in the fire department here, I've been in hotel rooms before this ordinance was passed, that it becomes hoarder conditions. So with us having to have people move along every 14 days, it deters them from doing that as well. So
I understand that. I understand the reason for the law. It's not like I'm very aware of the issues that come up, and I respect the township. They want to keep it clean, they want to keep it safe. They don't want people moving on. It's transient. It's a transient place. It's not full-time, a multi-unit. That's different, the ball game, it's a account. But for someone who's a regular person, and for whatever reason can't afford it, I was just looking at some type of waiver on that, on a specific case by case. Listen, here's a guy, he's working over here, or he's working there.
I think it's discriminatory on its face. I think that creates a problem. Correct. I mean, you're essentially just trying to say if you're employed, you can stay longer, but if you're not, you're out after 14 days. So that's a distinction we're drawing.
Why is that discriminatory? We're proving proof of funds.
Because the law says
one person and not somebody else.
That's an actual.
Yeah, that's completely. If we even tried to do that, it would get. We've already been challenged on this, right? We're aware of that. It would get worse if we tried to do that. I promise you that.
So if you have people in that motel who are there because they're experiencing homelessness, or they're there because they have a mental illness, and we do have them reach out to us. We have.
That's not why he's here.
I know, but just while he's standing.
We have them.
I work with the county for Veterans Affairs and mental home, and just people facing it, and working with a different county. Instead of staying in the police department and putting them up, stay by us for a night. If they have domestic dispute, stay at the hotel. Instead of staying in the police station and taking the jail, stay for every 2 days, cool down, whatever happened at home, stand back instead of getting the police involved. And they responded very much just because we want to work with the community. Obviously, we're here to help the community and work with the community, and we provide a service for people that are working in the area. They have a place to stay, whether they're salespeople or local workforce housing or small construction jobs. That's what it's based on. Obviously, the tourist business from Atlantic City in the summertime, but that's where I'm coming from. Is actually a lot of people have asked the general manager and got the word to myself is we can have some type of waiver on someone like that.
We will discuss it at our next code enforcement meeting. We'll bring it up. But
could I just ask you, because in the fire department, I said, what would be our alternative to make it safer that would apply to the board that would make it?
Those rooms are not built to code for long-term housing, so there's no way around it, unfortunately. They're made for transient occupancy.
Correct. I'm well aware of that, but I'm just looking for a way to make it easier for the board to say, listen, transients know someone who's workforce housing or someone who's working locally but can't afford or doesn't have to credit check to get an apartment.
I think like our solicitor said, it would be, discriminatory if we went that route and allowed it for one and not the other, so.
Especially the credit people, like their services around here, we can connect them with to get them help from the state and federal government to help pay.
But Nick, you'll finish this conversation and
We'll finish it at
You know,
code
they
enforcement.
have the money, because they have jobs. Well, it's not a money issue, it's just a matter of they don't have the credit, for whatever reason, the past years, they just can't, no one's want to rent them anymore.
Yeah, I do suggest continuing the conversation through code enforcement.
Sure.
Because that's where the ordinance went through, was code enforcement. Code enforcement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have your email later?
Yes, it's on our website. If you go to abseconnj.org, our next meeting is February 17th at 4 o'clock.
No, I'm saying for code enforcement, to reach you out to you directly?
Yeah, my email is nlarotunda. I can write it down for you when we're done this meeting if you'd like.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Would anybody else from the public like to speak? How'd I know?
It's been a while.
Are you getting me back?
No, Greg Sayers, 625 Yarmouth Avenue. I had no intention of speaking, but just with the topic that came up tonight, I certainly feel bad for business owners who are affected by this, but it is not the city's job to alleviate housing crisis issues by turning a business that is designed for vacationing and transient residents into a housing solution. That is the cause of this problem. So I would, strongly caution council not to lighten up the work they've done to try to address this issue. And obviously, Absecon faces a much stronger concern with this than the rest of the country, given the demographic issues. And we know, as someone who has volunteered at the Atlantic City Rescue Mission, people being sent from all over the state down here, we have to be extra vigilant. So, while I certainly sympathize with the predicament this business owner and other business owners are in, it is bad for the city to take the foot off the pedal on trying to remedy this problem. And I would, again, urge council and the city to continue to do its diligence to try to fix this. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Would anybody else from the public like to speak? Name and address, please. You have exactly 3 minutes. I'm starting the timer now.
Linda Evans, 610 South Shore Road.
Thank you, sir.
So my neighbors came to me, I live over on the other side of the pike, as you know, South Shore Road. The streets are all dead end down there. And with the snowstorm, they can only plow down the middle, which plows everybody in. They're asking that maybe we could put up a sign like they do in other towns that says, on snow-covered roads, you can't park on this side of the street, so that it's one side of the street, so they'll be able to go down and back and make 2 lanes, and just unfortunately, the one side would not be plowed, because it is a problem over there, where right now, they literally went straight down the street and plowed everybody in. And a lot of those houses don't have driveways where they can get their car off the street. So my neighbor asked that he could not be here in order to say that. So it's just something that maybe we can consider, that it would just be a sign that would be just one side of the street. They do it like in all the other towns, Atlantic City, I've seen it, Ventnor, I've seen it, where, snow-covered roads, please don't park on this side of the street.
Thank you. I do suggest, not you, but your neighbor following up with Public Works.
That's necessarily public works or code enforcement, I don't know.
Would a sign like that actually be enforceable? I mean,
I thought someone would be code enforcement, no?
You could establish a code.
Public Works or code enforcement. I was only teasing. Okay, thank you, Linda.
We'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I was only teasing about that.
President, I might have to recluse myself because I'm in the same boat.
All right, it's going to code enforcement.
I'm kidding.
touche, Steve.
Would anybody else from the public like to speak tonight? May I hear a motion to close this meeting to the public?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? May I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight.